What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today some more Dragon Ball FighterZ for y'all. So today I wanted to review some characters that got more impactful changes with the Season 3.5 patch. So of course, if you remember, we had the original Season 3 patch, and then they had another patch when Master Roshi came out that had quite a few changes, mostly buffs, not nerfs, which actually made me pretty happy. But despite that, even though the strength of the characters in the game went up overall, some characters I think did not move too much, and the character I wanted to start this discussion with is actually Gogeta. Mainly because we are getting another Gogeta, I guess in March, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I had the pleasure, because some people were like, yo, check out Little GT. I watched a Little GT, and I actually think the Super Saiyan 4 form is pretty cool, but I also think Super Saiyan Blue is cool too, so seeing this character missing that special sauce definitely kind of hurts. And if you do like all the match analysis, guides, and everything else I put on this channel, definitely consider liking this video or subscribe to the channel if you already have not. It's free, only takes a second, and it helps the channel grow. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, like the majority of characters that came out as DLC, when this character came out, people were not really feeling him. He had some interesting combos and some really interesting properties on his moves. But since he was a Season 2 character, he had a fatal flaw in most people's mind, simply that he's tall. If you don't remember Dragon Ball FighterZ Season 2, a lot of people, I'm not one of them though, consider tall characters to basically be not viable because they're vulnerable to a special type of mix-up that only worked on them in general. And with Gogeta, with his tall stature, he stands up straight, fell into this category. To be honest, in Season 2, he basically turned into a universal fuzzy function. If you don't remember what that is, that was the technique we used to fuzzy every single character in the game. The setup was quite simple as well. After this, you would get an unseeable 50-50. On a tall character, you could just do rising normals, but on smaller characters, you could do ID, jump light, or dash low and hit people. So in Season 3.5, they gave him some extra buffs that he kind of needed. So in the first place, they gave him a jab, it's -3, much better frame data. They made his guard data on 2L also much better, now -5, despite it still being pretty slow. They sped up his jump heavy, and they sped up his 5S, among other things. Now, these quality of life changes are all really good and kind of needed. You can't just rely on doing a super into the enemy super and then snapping them into a mix-up anymore, because the opponent can change your timing when they come in. So they had to make him more of a fully functional character. But despite all these changes that they made, they didn't fix his core issue, and I think this is kind of the case with a bunch of characters that they buffed, but people still are kind of not playing so much. And in my opinion, his core issue is that he is far too committal on attacks. So what do I mean by this? I'm going to use GT Goku as another example of this because he's pretty good at showing this off. GT Goku does not have a ki blast, right? His 5S instead is the power pole. So he's not really good at zoning you, really. What he likes to do is kind of just float around because he's small, and then either use his EX orb to come in, or try to get in with an EX tackle and then guess right after on what the follow-up is because you can't punish him. So playing GT Goku alone is pretty tough because you need assists to do all this stuff. You need to call like something to protect you and get frame advantage. Without it, basically his only full screen tools are beams. And Dragon Ball 101, if a beam whiffs, you can guarantee punish it. This means that GT Goku is not good at playing a safe full screen game. He has to kind of get in and try to move in a safe way to get the approach that he wants so he can get it and run his pressure. So Gogeta has this same issue. He has a bunch of moves that are good or have like new things, new properties, like the 2M going way farther now. But if any of these moves whiff, he is in deep, deep, deep trouble. So for example, he has the JS and J2S that are both beams, and because they are on the S button and they're not a special move, he can cancel them into vanish. Sounds good on paper, but it's nowhere near as good as you think. So the nice thing about it is that it is a beam, so it'll always be the ki blast. But if any of these were to whiff, he is extremely punishable on whiff. All you could do is vanish. This is a huge issue. So if he whiffs and you're on the ground, of course you can 2H. But even if you're in the air, you can either get an advantage, or if you try to super dash punish, you can get a punish on the vanish by air dashing. So whiffing these moves are extremely dangerous. Now in a game where everyone is playing relatively safe neutral assist to control space, missing moves like this is really rough, and it definitely holds him back. So in my opinion, he's almost in a really good spot. He is definitely much better than he used to be, but this issue of him not being able to do a lot of stuff without taking a big risk definitely hurts. In a game with characters like UI Goku, like Kibu, like Teen Gohan, characters who can whiff stuff and do stuff relatively safely at most ranges, not being able to do something like control full screen like this safely is definitely hurts him. He has to instead kind of fly around the screen and rely on normals, and he has very good air normals, to be fair, and pretty good movement, good ways of altering his momentum. He can traverse space surprisingly fast. That's his 236H, this is 2M as we showed. His JH is much faster now too. Doesn't travel as far as the other moves, but he still moves across the screen. But again, all these involve him lunging himself at you, which can be kind of rough, especially in a game where everyone's going to be constantly jumping around, waiting for you to do something, or trying to do safe things in neutral to see what you do and how you react. Now the good news for you is that combined with the right assist, his new ways of traversing the screen are actually very strong and kind of make up for this. I just don't think it's enough to compete with the top tiers. So for example, we have this team on the right. This is the team that Wawa played in the first to 5 Spain versus France champions during the baby showcase. I did a match analysis on this set. It was extremely entertaining, and these combination of assists help Gogeta a ton and take advantage of his buffs in a great way. So first we have the somewhat underrated, I guess it depends on who you're talking to. I think this assist is crazy. I got the receipts. I've been saying this assist is crazy since season 2. So a lot of you on the chat be like, how could you possibly think that Vegeto's assist is better than this character or this character? And all I have to say is that you must expand your brain. Think about it. Just expand your brain. Vegeto's assist is mad good. It's really fucking good, actually. It's really good. I almost want to say it's S tier. So considering what we talked about with angles and how he has to traverse the screen on his own, using a move like this is amazing for him. But a combination of catching him and calling Vegeto for the frame advantage, or using Vegeto A to hedge your bet in neutral, both of these are really good ways of controlling the screen with him. Similarly, Tien B, the telekinesis, is a tracking assist, so as long as you manage to catch your opponent and call him, you'll have massive frame advantage. This goes really well with not just his full screen moves, but also traveling moves like the air tackle, the ground rekka, and 2M. Outside of more creative shells like this Vegeto Tien build, you can still do normal things that we know work, like playing him with a DP assist, like playing him with a beam assist. You can build things to help mitigate his weakness of him not really being able to get away with whiffing things. Hopefully that makes sense though, and I really hope they think about this in regards to SSJ for Gogeta, at least from the little bit of GT I watched. I guess that's supposed to be the strongest fusion possible, so it would be, not gonna lie, kind of silly if he had a weakness like, oh, if he whiffs stuff he dies, or like his frame data is bad. I hope they really think about these points when they're making that new character, and I think it'll be okay though, because so far in season 3 they've done a really good job of making all the characters feel both unique and strong. So for all you Gogeta fans out there, you guys have hope. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.